Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're taking a macro-level journey into the lush, incredible forests of the Bodo territorial region. We're going to explore India's absolute newest protected wilderness, Sikhna Jwhwlao National Park.
You know what the most important number for conservation is in 2025? It's 8. That's right. Assam's official network of national parks has just grown to a grand total of 8. Literally, if you were looking at government maps just last year, back in 2024, you'd only see 7. So this is an incredibly recent designation that completely rewrites the ecological map of the region, and honestly, it's a massive win for conservation. To really grasp what a big deal this is, let's anchor ourselves geographically. Assam already has this truly legendary park network. You've got Kaziranga, which is the oldest and biggest, completely world-famous for its one-horned rhinos. Then there's Orang, sitting as the smallest of the bunch. And just a few years ago in 2021, Raimona was added to this prestigious list. And now, Sikhna Jwhwlao joins these ecological heavyweights as the newest kid on the block. So, where exactly is it? Well, sitting right out there on the western borders of Assam, Sikhna Jwhwlao perfectly bridges what used to be a really critical, completely unprotected gap. It sits smack in the middle between Raimona National Park to the west and the famous Manas National Park to the east. It is essentially the missing puzzle piece right on the Indo-Bhutanese border, finally creating this continuous, unbroken band of protected forest. But, a forest is really only as vibrant as its water. And this place has an amazing network of river lifelines flowing right through the Chirang and Kokrajhar districts that absolutely bring this border park to life. We're talking about the Sarobanga, Samuha, Shanti, Polo, Lani, and Dani rivers. These 6 waterways are the literal lifeblood of this new park, sustaining basically everything that lives within its borders.
Section 1. The human element, history, and culture.
Okay, so the absolutely crucial point here is the origin of the park's name itself. Who exactly was Sikhna Jwhwlao? Well, he was a legendary Bodo warrior who fiercely fought against the British during the war that spanned from 1866 to 1868. His historic capital, a place called Sikhr, was actually located right in the Ultapani Reserve Forest, which now forms a core part of this very national park. So the forest itself literally holds his legacy. And that deep cultural tie, it isn't just a thing of the past. It's very much alive today through the Buisagu Kere Puja. This is a highly significant Bodo religious festival that is actually performed right inside the park's boundaries every single year. It's just this beautiful intersection where indigenous cultural heritage meets pristine protected wilderness.
Section 2. The ecological landscape.
So, why did this specific patch of land absolutely need to become National Park number 8? Like, what's the crucial ecological purpose it serves? The answer boils down to one word: connectivity. This land forms a system of absolutely vital biological corridors. Not only does it physically connect the wildlife populations of Manas and Raimona so animals can actually roam freely, but it also serves as an essential elephant corridor within the broader Chirang-Ripu Reserve. It finally gives these massive migratory animals the safe, uninterrupted passage they require to survive. And speaking of those majestic elephants, take a look at this term, Mike Site. This exact area was granted the Mike designation way back in 2003. Now, what does that actually mean? To put it simply, a Mike Site is to elephants exactly what Project Tiger is to tigers. It represents a massive, dedicated structural monitoring and conservation effort, specifically designed to protect the species. It's a really big deal. And honestly, the elephants are in great company. Sikhna Jwhwlao boasts a crazy density of biodiversity, with as many as 12 distinct forest types. We're talking everything from moist sal and evergreen forests to riparian savanna and Khyr Sisu. And patrolling those diverse forests, you've got predators like tigers and leopards, right alongside spotted deer, hog deer, wild pigs, and bison. But as impressive as that entire roster is, they actually aren't the main attraction here.
Section 3. The Golden Lanbour.
If we zoom all the way up into the forest canopy, we find the park's absolute star resident, a highly endangered primate found literally nowhere else on Earth except in these specific pockets of India and Bhutan. Because they are so globally rare, they carry what we can call a triple protection status. They're formally listed as endangered by the IUCN Red List. Under CITES, they are Appendix I, which means the international trade of this species is totally prohibited. And domestically, under India's Wildlife Protection Act, they are a Schedule I species. Let me be super clear about this. Hunting or capturing a golden langur is a major criminal offense. The legal wall around them is completely uncompromising. There's also a fascinating biological concept at play with them: sexual dimorphism. If you look closely at a golden langur troop, you'll see distinct physical characteristics separating the genders. The male golden langurs are significantly larger and just much more robust in nature compared to the females. It's a striking visual difference when researchers observe them up in the canopy. But to even observe them, researchers have to know exactly where to look, because their natural habitat is trapped by very strict river boundaries. Try to map this out with me. They are hemmed in by the Brahmaputra River to the south, the Manas River to the east, the Sankosh River to the west, and Bhutan's Black Mountains up to the north. They are geographically locked into this highly specific, tight little zone. And this geographic lock, it really shows just how vital this 8th national park is to their survival. Get this. An astonishing 93% of India's entire golden langur population lives right here in the western Assam forests, specifically within the Cherang, Manas, and Ripu reserves, which now heavily features Sikhna Jwhwlao. Only a tiny 7% fraction exists elsewhere. Basically, if we lose this specific forest corridor, we essentially lose the species in India entirely. So how do these rare primates spend their days in this restricted zone? Well, their habits dictate that they are strictly arboreal and herbivorous. This means they confine themselves entirely to the high trees. They rarely, if ever, touch the forest floor. Up there in the canopy, they live out their days strictly as plant eaters, feeding almost entirely on leaves and tree matter. And they definitely don't navigate that canopy alone. Check out this quickfire statistic. 8.2. That is the exact average number of individuals you'll find in a golden langur troop. Now, while researchers have observed splinter groups as small as 4 and troops as impressively large as 22, the average troop sits right at that 8.2 mark, moving together as a totally cohesive unit. Dynamically, their gender roles are highly organized. You generally have exactly one adult male per troop, surrounded by several females. In fact, the specific ratio averages out to 2.3 females for every single adult male. It's a very tight, strictly structured social system. Which brings us to the ultimate question. We've looked at the intensely detailed life of the golden langur, their precise canopy habitats, and their incredibly fragile conservation status. And we've seen how Sikhna Jwhwlao forms the vital ecological bridge between Raimona and Manas. So the question I leave you with today is this: will protecting these very specific corridors as an 8th national park finally ensure the survival of the golden langur? Or is this really just the first step in a much larger ecological battle? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and keep feeding that curiosity.